after this election, I don't think Chairman Gensler will remain at the SEC. What I love about innovation is that it's the great leveling field. I think one of the reasons for the regional bank crisis was the Fed raising rates at a faster rate than it ever has, up 24-fold in 17 months. Never seen anything close to that. Chairman Volcker increased interest rates twofold, not 24-fold.
Right.
So that was part of the regional bank crisis. And notice Bitcoin went up during that. Flexibility, agility, opportunity. That's the most important thing.
Wait a minute, everyone. Get ready for the ultimate crypto investing website, the Bitcoin Seller. It's your golden ticket to an exclusive insiders club. Expert predictions, on-chain data, and breaking news, all for you. Imagine all crypto insights landing in your inbox daily, like having your own expert team. Don't miss this VIP opportunity. Click the link and secure your spot. Join now and ride the crypto roller coaster with the Bitcoin Seller. Cathie Wood, the superstar investor who knows how to spot the next big thing. She is the founder and CEO of ARK Invest, a firm that invests in disruptive technologies. She will tell us why she thinks the SEC chair will change after the election, and why that's good for innovation. She will also tell us why the Fed's interest rate hikes caused a crisis for regional banks, and why Bitcoin thrived during that time. She will also share her vision of how to be flexible, agile, and opportunistic in the changing world. You don't want to miss this amazing interview with one of the most brilliant and visionary people in the industry. So get ready as we dive into the conversation with Cathie Wood.
I think one of the reasons for the regional bank crisis was the Fed raising rates at a faster rate than it ever has, up 24-fold in 17 months. Never seen anything close to that. Chairman Volcker increased interest rates twofold, not 24-fold.
Right.
So that was part of the regional bank crisis. And notice Bitcoin went up during that. So, and it is true, it probably was anticipating the financing program that the Fed put in place, which was a bit of a jog toward easing, and then it went back, a reverse course.
Mm-hmm.
So we think that the Fed is going to cut rates. Now, there are a lot of confusing economic data. We hear something from companies and something very different from the government in terms of economic activity. They're not matching up. They're not matching up at all. And so I find that very interesting. I think the Fed is going to figure out that there is much more stress in the system, that the regional bank crisis was the first sign of it, and we'll get other reminders, and that they will move into a rate cutting. Now, what we really think is going to happen is it's going to be less about real economic indicators. It's going to be about price deflation. We think, and Walmart has said, we're going to have to cut prices. That's deflation. That's not disinflation even, it's deflation. And I believe the Fed is going to be shocked at broad-based price deflation this year. And that will be, they're using now inflation as their primary gauge. They're not as focused on real economic activity because inflation has come down even without a recession. I think we've been in a rolling recession, but nonetheless. So inflation is the primary variable they're watching. We think there's going to be deflation, so they'll get 2% all right, and it'll keep falling. So they'll lower interest rates. That will be very good for risk assets, and Bitcoin among them. It was interesting. I think it was in late in the fourth quarter, earlier in January, Bitcoin led the market, and so so we're watching Bitcoin now, and of course we're having a sell on the news moment after the 11 Bitcoin ETFs are approved, and I don't know how far that's going to go. This is high frequency trading. It's people getting in just for that short boost and now getting out. But institutions and these retail platforms are going to start moving in, And then we'll see the scarcity value. So what is the price target? We have everything focused on the long term, but it takes short terms to make up a long term. So by 2030, we are in print for our base case as saying that we believe Bitcoin, which is now closing in on 40,000, will be at 640,000 by 2030. That's our base case. The Bitcoin ETFs have increased the probability of our bull case, which is $1.5 million. And if you want to see the building blocks of that, you can take a look at Big Ideas 2023, which we published last January. We're about to publish 2024, and you'll see in Big Ideas how we get to those two cases. After this election, I don't think Chairman Gensler will remain at the SEC, whoever's elected. I think he has aspirations for political, some kind of political appointment, so he may go for that reason if Joe Biden is reelected, or he may go, he will go altogether if a Republican is nominated. So, the SEC could drag its feet, but I think the court cases have spoken pretty loudly. We have the Coinbase hearings. We'll get lots of information about what is not a security during that trial. So I do think that raises the odds of an Ethereum spot approval. The Gensler could be in the way, but we do think it will be approved.
Cathie Wood shares her views on the regional bank crisis, the Fed's interest rate policy, the Bitcoin ETFs, and the SEC's stance on Ethereum. She talks about how the regional bank crisis was caused by the Fed raising rates too fast and too high, which hurt the value of their assets and made them vulnerable to bank runs. She compares this to the Volcker era when the Fed raised rates much less and more gradually. Bitcoin benefited from the regional bank crisis, as it anticipated the Fed's easing program and acted as a hedge against inflation and currency devaluation. She says Bitcoin is a global, rules-based, digital monetary system that is very scarce and valuable. She added also that the Fed is going to cut rates soon, as it realizes that there is more stress in the system and that there is a risk of deflation, not inflation. Walmart's plan to cut prices is a sign of deflation, which the Fed will be shocked by. Deflation will make the Fed lower its inflation target and stimulate the economy. Lower interest rates will be good for risk assets, especially Bitcoin, which she predicts will reach $640,000 by 2030 in her base case, and $1.5 million in her bull case. She thinks that those scenarios are based on her Big Ideas reports, which she publishes every year. She thinks the SEC Chair Gensler will leave after the election, either to pursue a political career or because of a change in administration. She says this could make it easier for Ethereum to get a spot ETF approval, as the SEC could be less strict and more influenced by the court cases and the Coinbase hearings. She says Ethereum is not a security and deserves to be regulated as a commodity.
Merrill is beginning to understand that Vanguard has made a mistake, because Merrill has actually said, no, we aren't banning it. We're evaluating it. And Merrill's very conservative. And Merrill was the last platform to approve our strategies, our ETF strategies. But once they do approve, they're a powerhouse. So they're very careful. So I think this is a massive mistake, strategic mistake, and I do believe the next leadership, the new leadership of Vanguard, whenever that is, will change its policy, because what they're doing is preventing their investors from accessing a new asset class. Their role is to facilitate the access of all financial asset classes. So I think many people are leaving Vanguard. I think Fidelity is the biggest beneficiary there. And Fidelity, I think, as I understand it, is actively courting them because and I don't think Merrill wants to fall into the same category. Philosophically, UBI, I feel would kill a part of the incentive system that has really made America the innovation engine of the world. Flexibility, agility, opportunity. That's the most important thing. And what I love about innovation is that it's the great leveling field. When my father was sixth grade education, had he went into the American Air Force after emigrating. He fell into the radar rabbit hole. No one knew more than my father. And guess what? He made a great living for his family. And I think that's what innovation does if you go for it.
Yeah, it will open up a lot of new opportunities. And like you said, folks have to really do their homework, look at are you in the path of disruption, but it presents an opportunity to invest as well. Absolutely. And create wealth. Yeah, absolutely.
And in the financial services industry, watch out. Jamie Dimon is as, vociferous in his opposition to Bitcoin as anybody out there. Well, guess what? It's because these are the financial rails that are going to derail you in many ways, Jamie and JP Morgan.
Cathie Wood criticizes Vanguard for banning her ETFs from their platform, saying it is a huge mistake that will cost them customers and market share. She adds that Vanguard is blocking their investors from accessing a new asset class, which is innovation. Cathie sees their role is to facilitate the access of all financial asset classes, not to restrict them. Cathie praises Fidelity for being more open and supportive of her ETFs, saying they are the biggest beneficiary of Vanguard's decision. She thinks Fidelity is actively courting the investors who are leaving Vanguard. She also adds Merrill is more conservative, but not as extreme as Vanguard. Cathie expresses her opposition to UBI, or Universal Basic Income, saying it would kill the incentive system that has made America the innovation engine of the world. She adds that flexibility, agility, and opportunity are the most important things for innovation. Cathie shares a personal story of how her father, who had his sixth grade education, became a radar expert in the American Air Force and made a good living for his family. She says that's what innovation does. It opens up new opportunities for anyone who goes for it. She advises people to do their homework and see if they are in the path of disruption, or if they can benefit from it. She sees innovation presents an opportunity to invest and create wealth, and she invites people to check out her Big Ideas reports, where she explains her vision and strategy for the future. Cathie calls out Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, for being very hostile to Bitcoin, the largest cryptocurrency by market value. She thinks he is afraid of the disruption that Bitcoin will cause to the traditional financial system, which he dominates. She says Bitcoin is a global, rules-based, digital monetary system that is very scarce and valuable. Bitcoin will challenge the financial rails that JP Morgan relies on. And don't forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. You will get the most important news in your inbox every day and for free. Don't miss this opportunity. If you like the video, hit that like button and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to help you on your money journey. Until next time, happy investing.